Today we're going to film my full decline bench workout. This will be a somewhat longer video. And depending on what channel this is, you may see it, the full content as I try to build the watch hours, because you need those longer videos, or a video that's really popular that can be short, but a lot of people end up watching it. I've built 3 monetized channels over the years, so I'm trying to do a fitness one. So we'll demonstrate different exercises in the future, but for now, I'll do a decline. So eventually, I'll switch to this. This helps protect my shoulder, which, because of age, is a little beat up. It's June 30th, 2023, and I just got back from being out of town. Long drive home. Now I'm pretty tired. Should probably work that later today. Later tonight, I should say. After I get napped. It's kind of what happens when you get older. You need those things. Alright, so we're just trying to get warmed up here. So, when I was younger, I had to warm up with the bar and whatever weights I would use, right? Didn't get to this point until much later. But then, somewhere in there, if I remember correctly, I would just warm up with 225. It took a while to get to that point, but those days are long gone. So over here I also have these bands, and I'm just trying to stretch things out. So from here, folks, we'll do one more. I guess really the first 3 sets are warm-up sets. Now, if I was going to follow this up with decline, we would probably go straight to some decent weight on that. We'll do 185 and 225. Then we'll put the bench sling on. I'll try and change up the camera angles a little bit. So I had just lost a bunch of weight, which has made me weaker. Now I've put some of that back on, so I was down to 250 maybe for a day. Within a week I was back up to 256, 259, and I feel like I'm at 260 something. I feel a little sluggish. So when that happens, you know you're getting heavier. So Interesting though in here, well in this room, the lighting is not so good. Like here at the gym, you know, they have the overhead lights, and really, if you have any muscularity, it shows. Here in this gym with the lights to the side, it doesn't really show very well. If you have any, so. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do this set. One day I'd like to get a big mirror up on the wall, as well as get more dumbbells. So we're trying to make sure our hand grip's the same. And if I had a spotter, I would put the collars on. I don't have them on today because this is going to allow me a way to dump the weight in case an emergency happens. Now, decline is probably the most dangerous of the bench presses if you're doing it by yourself. You see those videos where people roll the weights off their hands somehow, which I've only felt like I was going to do that one time, and I had some ridiculous amount of weight on there, like 400 some pounds. But I've always wondered, before that I was like, how do people do this? Lose control of the weight like that until you do it. So, you know, most of you will say how these straps are a bad idea, but the one thing they won't allow you to do is let the weight roll out of your hands. And then roll out of your hands. And so on a flat bench, you know, people, well, any of these benches, people have injured themselves, seriously killed themselves. In the decline, the weight's gonna, obviously, once you get tired of holding on your chest, it's probably gonna roll down your chest over your neck. So you wanna be able to get rid of the weight. And the way to do that would be to shift the weight to one side, let one set of plates fall off, and then the bar and the weight's going to fly back the other way. I've never had that happen on decline, knock on wood, but I did have it happen on flat bench in a garage. Of course, it did chip the concrete, but I went on to live another day. Because when you're bench pressing, folks, you never know when your body might just fail, when something's going to quit on you. Years of experience of bench pressing, you at least know maybe not to push yourself as hard without a spotter or when you're injured. But even then, things can go bad. Last warm up, and then we'll put the sling on. So I do have my US flag tank top. I hate to admit where I bought this, but I'm not even sure where it was manufactured. Probably not in the US. But it's getting close to July 4th weekend, where there's, you know, since it's on a Tuesday, I don't know if you'd call it July 4th weekend, but alright, so fingers the same. So we're consistently dipping the right side. And why am I doing that? I have to think it's compensating for the left shoulder being a little bum. Maybe we're dropping the right side more just to get a better idea that we're actually. Let me take a second to breathe here. Basically, we're dropping that right side down to compensate for the fact the left side doesn't want to go down as far. So, question is what to put on here now. I guess we'll go 275. All right, so that shoulder, starting to feel it. I don't know if, so right in here is basically where I feel a little bit of pain. And ever since that pain happened, the bench press has been off. I've wanted to stop, working out, let it heal. But I'm not sure something like being older, arthritis or whatever it is up there, if that's going to matter. I used to think when I was playing guitar, I'd be so sad when I couldn't play guitar anymore. Then eventually I realized I'm not very good at playing the guitar and never going to get good. So it didn't bother me when I stopped playing. Now working out, that's something you gotta talk about. Will get you depressed if you're really into it and you can't do something. It's one thing if you never really work out and you hurt yourself and you're like, well, just can't do that no more. But this stuff, folks, this really matters. So, yeah, now that we're sponsored, Mark Bell, original slingshot, Mad Dog. I need to buy another one because I'm not doing the same weights I was when I originally bought this. We've had it a year now. So in the beginning, I was really putting up weight. And then as my shoulders gotten worse, my right elbow's gotten worse. And, oh yeah, not using creatine right now. Those two things factor into not necessarily need to use this or not have this size, right? There's whatever it is, level 1 through 5. I think this is level 5. This is the best one for the heaviest lifters. I should get, there's a green one. I forgot the name of that one, but that one is probably the one I need to buy. And then, figure out if I've got the right, so there's the level and then the size. Have I bought the right size of these things? And I think, if I remember correctly, so it should be based on, they put it based on your weight, which doesn't really, in my opinion, matter that much because you could be really tall and have a big wingspan, but be light. You could be really short and fat and have short wingspan. Either one could have big arms, one might not have big arms. It all, all depends, right? So, I'd be curious if there's one of those out there that would be better. If you've seen the channel, I have 3 alternate ones, Chinese made. Not proud of the fact they're Chinese made, but they also perform very similar. So with this sling, the wider you go with your grip, it seems like the more it does. If you try to do a more of a closer grip, doesn't necessarily help you. So one of my goals back in the day was to do 275, 20 reps with no nothing but gloves and a weight belt. I think I got to 17. Now with the sling, I've done 19 or 20. And so that's pretty damn good for somebody my age. We've done 30 reps with 225 on this bar with collars, so it's slightly more than 225. And let me think here. With a different bar, which I wasn't sure how much it weighed, I got 34 with 225. So we're getting out the 45-pound bumper plates, everyday essentials. And this, the more these weight plates go further out, definitely has a different feel to it. So it would have been better, I think. Eventually I'm going to get another set of 45-pound steel plates. I do have one set that are just the wrong diameter, and I don't know why I don't use those. Actually, I think tomorrow, when I do military press or overhead press, I'll start using those, because you put a bunch of these bumper plates on there like I've been doing, it just does not feel the same. Center of gravity is going to be in the same exact spot, right? But one slight shift in the weight that you're holding on to, and it just does not feel hunky-dory. So, alright, so we're going to do 315. You saw with the sling, 275 was like nothing. And as you saw me with my screwed up shoulder doing the other weights, warming up, didn't look so great. So it's amazing what this thing will do. So, you know, one thing for recording this straight through is I've never really paid attention to how much time I spend doing bench press. I've wondered if it's 30 minutes, if it's an hour. Here we are closing on 20. And I know I've got this set to do. I've got probably 2 more heavy ones after that, and then drop it down to the 275 range. I think last week we did 282. Which should have got very close to the same amount of reps, but it was not that good as a set. Oh, so the size of the bench sling is 2XL, in case anybody's interested. Level 5, size 2XL. And I stand somewhere between 6'1", 6'2", depending on the time of day. And then the body weight I'm estimating is 257, 260 right now. And the biceps, they shrink. They're usually over 18. They are ever so slightly under, but we'll just say 17 and a half for the sake of argument. That's flex too. All right. Oh, so that the right side slid again, which, you know, I don't know there was whip in the bar, but you can see how much that dropped off. And now our camera mount is screwed up as usual. Alright, let's try a slightly different angle. Whew. I don't know how many did. I'm sure it was somewhere between 7 and 9. So if I can get somewhat back to normal, this sling, I would estimate, let me think here. I'm going to say I should be able to get 14 reps with the sling if my shoulder would go back to normal and my rest of my body would cooperate. But right now, no such luck. Yeah, it wasn't long ago I was at least doing 375 for 2 or 3 reps. So that seems like not possible. Anywhere near being possible right now. All right. I don't know if we want to throw 10s on there. 35. Yeah, I guess I'm done with my homemade dumbbells. So I was had been using those big Olympic dumbbells for incline dumbbell presses, and they just get a little too awkward. The heavier they get, plus having collars on the end, you can't rest the, like you want to rest the dumbbell on your thigh, and those do not feel good rested. So, I think I'm going to buy, dumbbell wise, we've got only up to 70s. And then, as I was saying, we made those. So I could have got more plates. We could have made 100 some pounders. That was like 89 pounds, what you just saw. Or the one was. The other one I just took apart. But they're great for shrugs. A little big and bulky for doing biceps. For hammer curls, they're not bad though. The length doesn't matter as much as it would. If you're doing a hammer curl, the weight's just coming up like this, right? So the fact the dumbbell's ginormous doesn't matter. But if you're trying to do this, you're gonna, hit your leg. For shrugs, they are amazing for that. Except for having to pick them up off the floor. So yeah, we'll be in the market. I think. I guess I wanna go with 80s or 90s. Like once you work up to 70s, I can put the magnets on there. I could buy another set of magnets and have 70, 75s, or excuse me, 70, 72 and a half, or 75s. If I go with 80s, basically the same thing. So maybe my goal will be to go with 85s. I really don't even know how much I can incline press anymore, but would be a good thing probably to find out. So, not that I want to show you the behind the scenes stuff. We've got this TV that I hit with a barbell. Big old OLED. EVGA LCD, like a 1080i. One of these days I'm going to take the Sawzall and cut that thing in half. Of course, hopefully I remember to unplug it first. That bench, you may have seen, it has made enough monetized dollars to pay for itself. But you see now it just holds up the stereo. One of these days I'll try and sell that locally. Doesn't look like my son's ever going to want to use it. And it is way too flimsy for me. Now I could use it potentially, for a barbell rack, I guess. But they've made it sound like, oh, you can do military press off this thing, and it's like, if you're, I don't know, I was gonna say 3'6", 4'4", maybe, but anybody over say 5'6", I'm not gonna be able to work with it. All right, so time for another set. Now, of course, these slings, folks, do wear out, right? They may fail. Probably a good idea to inspect them every day. Like you can already see threads coming out of this one, This thing was what, $75? Well worth it. Considering the fact is extending my bench press life. Alright, so there will be a big drop off in reps with this weight. I don't think I did this weight last week. So, with the spotter, we would have got one or two more. Easily one. Second one, I probably would have had to help lock out. Now, just because these things will help you with your bench press, the reality is they're not going to help you, locking out at the end. They don't do a whole lot. Like, there may be a momentum. If you drop that weight enough, fast enough, and it slings back up, you might get some momentum. But for a little winded. What am I trying to say here? Over time, you're gonna feel the tricep. The tricep's doing a lot of work. This is definitely a good tool for those that maybe their sticking points, right off their chest. So at least you get a little more tricep work in. Now, will that help you with that, with your chest? I'm not sure. I almost feel like in some aspects it might make your chest a little weaker. I think when I look at myself without my shirt on, of course age factors in, but I don't think it looks quite like it did when I was younger. Anywhere near it. Alright, so I thought about after that set, after those first two sets, maybe doing 295, but I think we'll do 275. No, we'll do 295, screw it. We'll do less reps. After this video, I'm probably going to go to the gym. A gym that doesn't have free weights, which is a joke. Now they've got dumbbells, and they have Smith machines. But other than that, it's not a gym to build muscle. But don't judge me, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? Alright, so we should get 10 to 12 of these, I would think. It's an amazing thing when you're benching, you go somewhat heavy. Then you cut back down. And some of these weights on the way back down are like way easier. You're warmed up. The weight feels lighter. Some psychology in there probably. So I gotta figure out. I guess next week we'll do incline at the house. Oh, excuse me. So we're at 34 minutes into the bench workout. Alright, so for the record, we did do a couple warm-up sets with the bands beforehand, and I think we would probably wrap this workout up in 40 to 50 minutes. Like if I was really feeling it and I had a spotter, we'd have done at least one more heavy set, maybe two. There is a point where, you know, it's a little ridiculous doing the same exercise. You've done too much. This is gonna get us a nice pump after this set, but it is what's the word, folks? Gets harder and harder to do. At least that's the word you get. Alright, so stretch out a little bit. That's one thing you didn't see me do in this video. Usually I'm pretty good about trying to stretch things out, but I didn't really do a whole lot of that in this video. Now when I'm in a real gym, I like to, these days, do some kind of either, say, the elliptical to pump the arm, get some blood flowing in the arms. I'll do, back in the day I could do pull-ups, kind of, you know, push-pull thing like Schwarzenegger might have did. But I would, you know, these days use a lat pull-down machine. And if I get rid of this TV over here, I could put a lat pull-down machine in the corner. So I'd love to get a good hammer strength one. There's one by Hammer Strength I love where they have different ones, but the grips are hold to the front and pull down. And there's the one that's like this, which due to my weakened hand strength is a bit harder. Or the row machine. Now, of course, you can do dumbbells, and since I can make dumbbells out of those, there's another potential exercise we could do. I don't know if we captured this angle or not. All right, so final set, folks, for June 30th decline bench. So, let's hope for 12. Alright. Now, I could shorten up my stroke and say we're doing more than 12, but. So, you probably thought, God, he's going to go for a while there, but weight shift on the left. Screwed that up. I probably should have did the collars on that. Alright, folks, that's going to do it for this video. Yeah, see that? So, spotter with collars will make a difference. Thanks for checking out the video. Take care.